Well, I'm going to try to pick up where I left off. There's no way I can just keep get it on a tape. Victor Gonzalez was a psychiatrist. He was at Parkland when John Kennedy was taken there. He was later in Huntsville at the Army, Redstone Army, which is your ballistic. I mean, that's where your UN, a lot of the troops are sent in there from other countries. And that's where I was kidnapped and taken at 41 near Huntsville. That's NASA was the outgrowth of it, and the scientists came there. So my kidnapping encompassed more than just handing money across from one hand to the other. Illegal treaties were signed allowing the United States to put its military bases all over British soil, and they used that as a launching pad to, and then everything, all the countries they captured is what they did, became part of the UN and signed the treaties, and the United States went about saying that Great Britain was their friend, this close relationship. The close relationship is they kidnapped me, Victoria II, took down my father, Edward VIII, with a lie, 99 years seal put on it. That woman married a double and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. And this is my mom's sister, Georgia O'Keeffe, artist. And this is my father, Edward VIII, or David he was called. He married Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe. He never had anything. It was a total lie. And the Kennedys were in on it. My uncle George VI is illegal. Helped kidnap his niece, Victoria II, and me, and put me in the hands of the Americans where all these horrific crimes happened to me. Can you imagine this? If this had happened to anybody else, it would have been a front page forever, demanding and marching. This is Roosevelt, who appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador. So the Kennedys helped in my kidnapping, and the Jews. Rothschild was married to her mother, and that was kind of an end to them, an end, how they got in. They were already there. They've taken over everything. So anyway, all you have to do is look. We're your friends. You used us. We're hostages. I'm here, and you talk about respect. What I've gotten is beaten like the worst kind of criminal that walked the face of the earth. But now I wanted to get to, I wrote about mind control. Before I found out about being kidnapped, I guess it was a good thing I didn't know my real name and everything. They would have sure handcuffed me, finding out you're the Queen of England, the legitimate one after all they did to me. So you got Gonzalez. I was trying to write about. He was at the Army base, and then he preceded me to Atlanta, where my husband, John Childers, later I found out was CIA. So I was used like a guinea pig, a torture chamber in my kids, because of who we are, my name. So later I'm trying to write about it, and I put this on the other tapes. Dr. Jonas Robertshire gave me, he gave my attorney, sent someone to my attorney, Jean Strokerman, and she had been raped, and she had gone to Robertshire, and he referred her to the attorney, my attorney, Gene Kaiser, who was a former district attorney of Atlanta. And she got killed. They blew her apart on Christmas, up against a Christmas tree, in about 76 or 77. And I could go on and on. She was working at Hardiman's office, and she was suing Cohen, some Jews, for raping her. So my book encompassed, the suit was against Gonzalez, and my attorney was representing me, and he was going to help me with the book. He gave me the deposition on Gene Strokerman, and there was another murder, forensic pathologist Warren and Rosina Matthews. And they were gunned down and killed in Cobb County in mind control. This is what the book I was writing about, too. And Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of 78, and I was living at Moonraker Apartments in Marietta doing the book. Later, I had a letter, and I'm just going to try to get to this because there's no way I can put this on a tape. I've tried over and over. There's so many up there now. Media won't publish any of it. But if I could even get to it now, what happened, I did the book, and it was about, part of it was about Victor Gonzalez. And rape and a gag order put on it, and that's exactly what it is. When a psychiatrist rapes a patient, the damage done is unbelievable to the family, to the so-called patient. In some cases, a guinea pig sent in there to be raped for the fun of it, right? So here we go. I was moved from Moonraker Apartments while I'm doing the book into Laurelwood Apartments because so much was being done to me, and the law wouldn't do anything about it. There I got a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79, and it was just a couple of blocks from where I live, and I'm leaving out. You can't put it on here. I got there, got the letter from the U.S. Attorney about ongoing investigation, national security involved, and I had the antifreeze put in me April the 1st of 80. Now then, the book encompassed 2 murders, I was told, by Gonzalez. He was cryptic, but I got it because I saw one of the girls. She was a 12-year-old girl. She was coming out of his office, and she had like these plastic raincoats. That's all she had on the top. And bless her heart, she looked like, well, I'm not going to use it. She was very heavy breast. And so she'd gone in there without a bra. She's 12 years old. He's a he's a child psychiatrist. Can you believe that? That's his specialty, this psychopath who has engaged in raping. Kathy, I went in on them one night. I sat outside the office, and then I was almost killed. But I sat outside the office, and I went in, and he and Kathy, who was sit up there by her father, you'd think she'd know better. He would have known better. He was in school at Tulane with Gonzalez in psychiatry, or when he was becoming a doctor. He sends Kathy up to be with Gonzalez, and I go in, and they're on the floor having sex. So I almost got killed then. But this is Kathy. So this man's got a captive audience, and he's a child psychiatrist. So I had the letter. I want to make this point. I had the letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. I was also told, and I can't remember if it was by Cobb County Police. I talked to the DA, all of them. I talked to the state investigators. I think they're the ones that said that Gonzalez was already under investigation. Nothing ever happened to him. He's still in practice, and he has a son, Victor Gonzalez Jr. I just checked a year ago. I guess he's still alive in Marietta or in Atlanta, practicing medicine and practicing. Me. Now then, if I don't forget, I took the letter back then in the condition I was in already, just trying to live and protect my sons. I went to the state board, medical state board in Atlanta. I gave them a copy of where I'd done the book, and it was rejection. It was, except for one. It went before Revell, the board, but. And the letter from the FBI about Gonzalez, about the ongoing investigation. Later, after the antifreeze and all that, years later, in 82, I went back and the letter was gone. It's a joke. You should have cameras following me if you want to see the good people of this country, how I was treated, and this is going to go off. So I've said about all I can say there. I've put it on other tapes, and nothing was done except they live good like everybody else that I'm talking about, in my kidnapping and all of it. And I had met Gonzalez, and I didn't remember it, when I worked at Cosmopolitan in Huntsville, and he was out at the Army, Redstone Arsenal, Army Hospital. He was a kid psychiatrist. He's a psychopath. And a man that wrote me a letter, legal, and gave it to Eugene Kaiser was Kenneth Don Reagan, psychiatrist. And he said he was a psychopath, and he was. And he's practicing medicine. But I want to get into this. Cindy was